Okay, so make sure you're paying attention to some of these because I'm going to change some of the original ones. So we're going to talk about solving equations. So find the middle of the equation, put on or take off the same thing on each side. Remember, all numbers on one side and variables on the other. Divide all the numbers by the amount of variables. Okay, so remember, we talked about this back, and we've talked about it since. But I am going to draw a line down the center of this one. Okay, and I am going to take off this x for right now because we're just going to focus on one variable. So I'm going to solve for x here. I'm going to combine like terms, so to do that, I need to move this 7 to this side. So I'm going to subtract 7, and that's going to cancel that, and it's going to give me 2x equals 6. And I know that I can't have 2 and x together. I'm going to divide by 2. X is going to equal 3. So my answer for that one is number 3. Okay, so looking right here, I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I am going to take off. It's going to make it uneven. So I'll show you one with both variables for right now. So I'm going to combine the x's and combine the numbers. So I'm going to move the smaller x to the bigger x. Okay, so I'm going to move the smaller x, it's positive 3x, so I'm going to say minus 3x. So I'm going to move that to that one. Okay, that's going to cancel here. It's going to make sure you keep this sign. It's going to be negative 20 equals 7x minus 3x, which is 4x plus 20. Okay, so right here I'm going to combine the numbers now. I'm going to say minus 20. So that leaves me 4x over here. And then negative 20 minus 20 is negative 40. Okay, so what I do after that, I'm going to divide both sides by 4 because I got to get rid of that 4. And so my x is going to equal negative 10. Okay, so feeling pretty good. Looking at this next one, I am going to take off this negative 2x. So I'm just going to kind of mark that out. I'm going to put my line down the center. I'm solving for x. So I'm going to combine my like terms, which is my 5. So I'm going to move 5 over. And I'm going to get negative 15 equals negative 5x. I'm going to divide by negative 5 because I got to get rid of that negative 5. And I'm going to get x equals positive 3. Okay. So moving over here. I'm going to draw my line down. I am going to take off this negative 16, even if it makes it ugly. I'm going to move my smaller x to my bigger x, and I'm just taking it off just to show you more one-step kind of things, or two-step, but with just one variable. So 6x minus 4x is 2x. That canceled, so it leaves me positive 28. Divide by 2, x is going to equal 14. Okay. And then we have one here. So I am going to take off the I don't know, I think either way it's not going to work out. So I'm just going to take off the 7x here. Okay, so we're solving for x. So I need to move like terms to like terms. So I'm going to move the 13 to the 30. And we're going to get 7x or 6x equals 17. We're going to divide by 6. And it's not going to come out even. We're going to get in there twice with 5, 6 left over. Okay, our last one, we'll go ahead and leave this as a two-step. Draw my line, move my smaller x to my bigger x. So I'm going to move negative x over here. I'm going to get x minus 8 equals 20 if I rewrite it. And then you're going to add 8. So you're going to get x equals 28. Done with this side. So that wasn't too bad. So if you have any questions, pause and look over. So let's move to the variable side. I mean, not the variable side, the inequality side. So remember, there's a different rule here. When you divide all the numbers by the amount of variables, remember to flip the sign if you multiply or divide by a negative. Okay, so right here, we're going to draw my line. Okay, so I am going to take this away. Okay, so we have 2x. I'm just going to rewrite it. 2x is greater than or equal to x plus 2. So I'm going to move my x's together. So I'm going to subtract x, and we get x is greater than or equal to 2. So that wasn't too bad once I kind of took that extra off. And we're just doing that just to make it a little bit shorter. So here is my line. Now I'm going to leave everything this time just so we can see the process. So we'll move x's to x's. So I'm going to move my smaller x to my bigger x. So I have negative 5 left over here, this, and then 15, and I have 2x right there. So 2x plus 15 is less than or equal to negative 5. So I'm going to move the 15, and I get 2x is less than or equal to negative 20. And then I'm going to divide by 2, and get x is less than or equal to negative 10. So I didn't have to change any sign because I didn't multiply or divide by a negative. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take off this one, and it may come out irregular. Okay. So I'm going to move this 5x over here. So I'm going to say minus 5x, because I don't want to move the 5x and leave nothing on that side. So I'm drawing a line, and I got negative 3x is less than or equal to 20. Now, okay, I've created a negative here, so I'm going to have to divide by a negative right here. Divide by a negative. What happens when I divide by a negative? I've got to go look at those rules. Remember to flip the sign. So I've got to flip the sign from less than to greater than. We're going to have x is there, and this is going to be negative 6 2/3. Okay. So we're going to mark off this one. And I'm going to draw my line here. Okay, so I'm going to move my x's together. So I'm going to say this is going to be plus 7x. That cancels. It leaves me negative 10 over there. 3x plus 7x is 10x. Going to divide by 10. And x is going to equal negative, not equal. It's going to be negative 1 is greater than or equal to x on that. Okay, I know I'm going fast, so please pause whenever you feel necessary to pause. Okay, so I'm going to mark this out. Okay, so I'm solving for x, so I'm going to move the 6 away. So it's going to be negative 3x is greater than or equal to negative 12. Okay, so I'm going to divide by negative 3. Divide by negative 3. That's going to make me flip the sign from a greater than to a less than. And my answer is going to be positive 4. And then this last one, we're just going to leave it as is. So we're solving for x. So I'm going to move the 12. Move the 12. That cancels. I have negative 5x is less than or equal to 3x, and it's minus 32. So now I'm going to move the 3x because that's my next step. So I have negative 8x is less than or equal to negative 32. And I'm going to divide by -8. And I'm going to get x is greater than or equal to, because I must flip the sign, +4. Okay, and let me know if you have any questions. This should finish this foldable for you.